Miller. Ferguson. Davis. Mendes. Unaccustomed poor ball from Pedro Mendes, but Eastern still forced to put the ball out of play for a throw. Here's Mendes again, making a good run forward and trying to make the most of it with his ball skills, very much to the fore, and he has got a corner. Davy Weir striding forward for a corner that's been taken short. Back out to Davis from Ferguson. Mendes from distance. Plenty of bodies to navigate its way through that shot, and it was cleared out towards Thomas. They all ended up on the deck. Whittaker emerged with possession. Ferguson. Miller. Seeing off Boyd. Away by Weir. Turned by Alex Neil, but only as far as Madji Bagheera. Weir. Boyd. Coming short for it. Weir then trying to bend it over the top and very nearly managed to get it past McLaughlin. Miller had made a run out to that inside right channel. Again, his movement excellent. And he's won the free kick now. Weir, Boyd and Bagheera all waiting. It's Beasley with the delivery. Boyd had made a run into space, but the ball didn't get there. Bagheera, he's won the corner. And it's a corner which Davis will take. In towards the penalty spot, Bagheera was going up for it. Four from Swales, returned by the other 38-year-old centre-half on the pitch, Davy Weir. Neil's lost out. Boyd tries to poke it through towards Kenny Miller. He's done well to get there. Good save from Cherney. And then on the follow-up, it's marshalled wide. Well, he's made a number of outstanding saves today and this season, Thomas Cherney, but he really gambled there, came out early. And in the end, Martin Canning did well to watch it wide. Billy Reid and Stuart Taylor just exchanging thoughts about how things can be addressed at half-time. First 45 minutes in which Accies have given a good account of themselves, but they've conceded twice since taking that shock early lead. Good play by Ferguson. Beasley. Ferguson wanting to take the free kick quickly. MacArthur succeeded in his intention of stopping him doing that. And the flicks coming out from the Rangers players now. Here they are again with Davis working it onto his left foot. He couldn't work the angle successfully. Goalkeeper who sees everything in black and white. Thomas Cherney, I don't know whether that's a superstition. It will be the white boot on his left foot that will clear this long, as opposed to the black boot on his right. Turn forward by Beasley. And the first half comes to an end. First half in which James McCarthy gave Hamilton a lead after just 2 minutes after a mistake by McGregor. Didn't take long for Kenny Miller to equalise for Rangers, and he had a hand in Chris Boyd's goal as well, as Rangers took a half-time lead. Well, the lead at the top of the SPL will be back to 4 points, providing Rangers can hold on here. They have looked the more likely to score the 4th goal of the game. They certainly haven't been holding on by any stretch of the imagination, but they'll be mindful of the fact that Thomas particularly has caused problems whenever he's had the ball going forward for Hamilton, and Rangers haven't looked comfortable defending set pieces. Well, so much about this game is taking your chances when you're a striker. He's had his chance to play today. Wouldn't have expected it. Richard Offiong's partner going into labour this morning meant that Thomas got the nod instead of Offiong, who's off on family leave, and he certainly made the most of the opportunity. He's caused real problems. This is Brian Easton. Beasley stumbling, and that allowed the ball to find McClenaghan. Mensing's layoff. Boyd. And Beasley striding forward with it, and he's got past Alex Neil. Again, the referee plays a good advantage. Pedro Mendes with a bit of space and support as well in the form of Stephen Whittaker. Miller's in the centre. Beasley's there. So too Mendes. Not his best layoff. But Rangers keep it alive with Miller. And that's not his best layoff either. Well, Hamilton took the lead in both home games against the Old Firm in the league. They lost 3-1 and 2-1. Having taken the lead here, they find themselves 2-1 down. They beat Kilmarnock last weekend, of course, at their first league win since back on September the 13th at Aberdeen. But there has been a very steady improvement. They kept themselves in touch when the results weren't going their way. And the victory last week took them off the bottom of the table. Although as things stand at the moment with St Mirren winning at Falkirk, Accies would go back to the bottom. Away by Weir. Forward from Canning. Challenged by Mendes. Ferguson. Mendes. Kenny Miller made the run forward. Hamilton's resolute three-man defensive line has seen their defensive record improved drastically over recent weeks since they switched to playing 3 at the back for the home game against Celtic. It's a tactic that they've adopted ever since. Thomas ploughing a lone furrow up front. It is ostensibly a 3-4-3 formation being fielded by Billy Reid, but how much Thomas will find himself in possession, having to go it alone. Big onus on Mensing and McCarthy to chase forward in support for him. Here's Miller. Mendes. Weir leaves it for Ferguson. Mendes battling with James McArthur. That's certainly been an intriguing duel. Hamilton's much vaunted youth policy has earned rave reviews, but just wonder how long they are going to be able to keep hold of some of the bigger names that they've got. I mean, impressive youngsters, the likes of McArthur and McCarthy and Easton. Here's Boyd trying to get round the back of Canning. That's a penalty. Will Callum Murray take any further action? Well, neither of them are the quickest. Bounce of the ball was read by Boyd. It wasn't a particularly good clearance by Canning, although he did get something on it to take it away from Boyd. The only problem was his trailing leg then brought down the Rangers striker. having been sent off against Celtic. Martin Canning has given away a penalty here, and he's off again. The third time in less than 12 months that he's seen red against one of the Old Firm. Martin Canning sent off. He was the last defender. The ball had gone to a certain extent because of the slice clearance from Canning. But it's the same old story for Hamilton. It happened against Celtic at home, and it's happened here at Ibrox. Down to 10 men after Martin Canning's dismissal. Chris Boyd was the player brought down. Chris Boyd, the player who has the opportunity to put Rangers 3-1 up against the 10 men. And it's an opportunity that he's taken with ease and aplomb. 2 for Boyd, 1 for Miller, and the forward partnership has yielded another 3 goals as Rangers extend their lead. It was never in doubt. A crisply taken 15th goal of the season, and 5 of those have come against Hamilton Accies. Thomas Cherney beaten again. This is a good display of character from Rangers after the early setback they suffered when MacArthur gave Accies an early lead. Here's Simon Mensing. Four from Easton. Well, how do Hamilton regroup? Certainly initially they've dropped into a back 4 with Neil and Mensing as holding players in midfield. Beasley. And he's been brought down now. Foul by Chris Swales. It's in from Davis. Bagheera's at the back post. He didn't get the opportunity to get a touch. Easton pulled out a play for a corner, which wasn't initially given. It was the assistant referee that flagged, and I think the assistant referee's got it absolutely spot on. Corner to Rangers. And he comes from Davis. Header away by Alex Neil. Miller. Easton's throw. Thomas. Good skills by Mensing. Between them, the Rangers trio did manage to stop him. MacArthur with another reminder for Mendes. Got rid of the ball in time. This is Papach. Bagheera. Now Davis. Plenty of options at the far post. Covering by Easton. Sheena, as he's affectionately known. Bagheera. Davis for Miller. Boyd leaving it cleverly and then making the run, but Ferguson couldn't thread it back to him. Thomas holding it up. He's going to have to do even more of that in the second half. MacArthur for Neil. Easton. Too many Red and white shirted options ahead of him, but he found McCarthy. Mensing sliding in there and he caught Miller, but play goes on. Mendes. Away by Easton. Helped on by Joel Thomas. Swept over the back by Madji Bagheera for Rangers. Haven't lost any of their last 21 SPL games here since Hibs won in early October last year. Boyd's in the centre here, waiting for a hat-trick. Sharp chance because it fell behind him. I don't think he was really expecting the cross to come in at that angle. He found himself a bit of space. He did just have to stop his run and try and hook his left foot around it. Unable to complete a hat-trick. It's good play by DeMarcus Beasley, the latest to get the opportunity to supply the ammunition from the left wing for Rangers. Charlie Adams had a run in the side. Nacho Novo's played out there as well. Saw Chris Burke in action last week. It's Beasley again gets the nod there today. It's the kind of service that Rangers will be expecting to be provided on a regular basis. Foul on Kenny Miller. Bagheera. Plenty of room for him to work. Good, really strong, confident run from Madji Bagheera. And he was unlucky that he couldn't find someone to supply the finishing touch. It was MacArthur that made sure that he couldn't. All of a sudden, having picked up possession, found himself with an unchallenged run to goal. Callum Murray's given the goal kick. No complaints from Davy Weir. He just continued his run back. Well, he scored twice. He's hit the underside of the bar as well, Chris Boyd. It could so easily have been a hat-trick for him today. Brought down there by Martin Canning. He dispatched the penalty with real ease. Did get a hat-trick here against Inverness Cali inside the first half hour of the game back in early November. I'm hoping for his second hat-trick of the season today. Ferguson for Miller. Bagheera's made his way forward here, but Ferguson's still taking it relatively quickly out for Papac. Now Beasley, time to turn inside the penalty area, but he lost his footing again. I don't think he was attempting to win a penalty there, DeMarcus Beasley. It was just the fact that his feet fell away from underneath it. Thomas. That was an optimistic dig from distance. Too close to scoring his first SPL goal from there. No thanks to his teammate James McCarthy. Davis. Miller. Easton's tucked into a much more central position since Martin Canning got sent off. He's the defender with the responsibility to come inside. Neil. And breaks for Mendes here, who's got Beasley in space to his left-hand side. Now, DeMarcus Beasley. Can he keep his footing this time? He could. He still couldn't hit the target. Mendes. Whittaker is clearly having his shirt pulled there by MacArthur. And the whistle went. The advantage might have worked very well for Rangers that time, but I think Mensing would have been in more of a challenge. That was a blatant pullback by James MacArthur. Papac. Taken away from him. His pockets picked by Joel Thomas. As he strides forward, he's got nothing in the way of support here. And that's the problem that Hamilton have had, since they've gone down to 10 men. All about containing Rangers, and as a result, they can't get bodies forward. Here's Davis. It's done brilliantly to beat the offside trap, and Chris Boyd has another hat-trick. Couldn't have been simpler. A hat-trick for Boyd. He cannot stop scoring at the moment. All about the timing of Davis's run. It was a close call. The flag stayed down, and the ball in was superb for Boyd to tap it home from just 6 yards out. His second hat-trick of the season, his 12th goal in his last 10 games. And Rangers, having found themselves behind so early in this game, are surely going to end it with a resounding victory now. He scored a few of those in his time, maybe from a little bit closer. 355 Rangers goals. Chris Boyd up to 87. But at a better rate than McCoist's. MacArthur. In towards Thomas. Away by Weir. And ball surely by McLennan. The referee has played the advantage. Papac. And Boyd is chasing. First time effort. Didn't get hold of it at all. So far away from getting it right that time, Chris Boyd even allowed himself a little laugh. Nevertheless, it was a inspired quick break from Rangers with Papac after another good advantage from the referee. And a good game today. Forward from McLennan. And out comes McGregor. A rare touch for him, which he's put straight down exit 9. Really was a good shot. I don't know that McGregor could necessarily do that again if he tried. Big gaping exit, and he stuck it straight into the gents. That would have shocked somebody. Play for another Hamilton throw. MacArthur. Mensing's throw. Way by Davis. And now, look at how quickly Rangers can break forward. 5 against 3 here. Bagheera, options either side of him. It's gone for Whittaker. Davis waits in the centre. Beasley couldn't put it in. Miller can't get there. How on earth did they not manage to walk that one over the line? Well, when you're 4-1 up, missing this kind of opportunity perhaps doesn't matter, but Kenny Miller had 2 bites of the cherry. And somehow, Hamilton managed to clear their lines. In comes the corner. Mendes trying to flick it on. Bagheera guarding it back for Papac. Ferguson, the deepest of the Rangers outfield players. We're crowded out of it by a man who's less than half his age. Here's Beasley. Boyd found himself some space. Couldn't turn. Well, Rangers are going to make their first change, and Nacho Novo is going to come on, and he's going to come on in his preferred striking position to replace Kenny Miller. Miller, who leaves the field with 1 goal, could have left the field with 2, but for a double chance which went astray just moments ago. Nacho Novo coming on, he scored in the league win, and Hamilton coming off the bench in that game, and he comes off the bench to take on the 10 men for the final quarter of the match here. Mendes, Boyd's offside. Stephen Davies back in the side and showing just how missed he was at Tynecastle last week. Here's Ferguson. Papac. Hamilton poised to make a double change, incidentally. James Gibson and Derek Lyle, the 2 players who will be coming on in a moment. Davis. Thomas. Neil. Forward from Swales. Still Hamilton not in a position to be able to work an opening, really. They always leave themselves prone to this kind of counter-attack. Bagheera's given up defensive duties for the day. Rangers making the most of the numerical advantage, and Hamilton are going to bring on some fresh legs. It's a treble substitution. First off, Trent McClenaghan, and he'll be replaced by Davy Graham.
Number 22, Trent McClenaghan, number 7, David Graham.
Graham, who had former SPL experience with Gretna, made his name as a prolific striker with Stranraer. Also coming off, James McCarthy. James Gibson on to replace him. And Joel Thomas also makes way.
Number 12, Joel Thomas.
And Derek Lyle coming on up front. It looks as though it's going to be a 4-4-1 formation for the closing stages for Accies. We've got just under 20 minutes to go. Easton, Neil, MacArthur. First touch for Davy Graham. And Gibson had strode forward outside him. Hamilton win their first corner of the game. James Gibson, whose only SPL start was against Rangers. Predominantly a left back, and playing left side of midfield now. Disappointing delivery, disappointing header. Well, Chris Swales came up with a much more important touch at the other end of the pitch about 7-8 minutes ago. Kenny Miller was the player who was denied. Good play by Stephen Whittaker, but what did Swales block this with? That one with his chest, that one, well, it hit his hand, but he hadn't moved his hand outside the proximity of his body, and the ref thought it was all right. Way by Whittaker. Novo. Boyd. Off McLaughlin now to play for a throw. The Rangers will be hoping they get a big favour from Hibernian tomorrow as they host Celtic. And Hamilton got a Hibs next week. Mixie Patterline and his assistant Donald Park have both been here today. I'm sure they will have been impressed with a few facets of Hamilton's play. And certainly as soon as Martin Canning was sent off, the game was over as a contest. There isn't games at Celtic and Ibrox that will mould the destiny of Hamilton's season. Billy Reid knows that. They have a hugely important game at Love Street just after Christmas against the St Mirren side, who've already beaten them once this season. And this is exactly the kind of game that's so important for Rangers, particularly after the shaky start they had. Papac. Too close to Cherney. Walter Smith earlier this season, when Rangers were 5 up at half-time against Inverness Cali, was very critical of his side's inability to take chances in the second half and really rub Inverness's noses in it. And he'll, to that end, want them to carry on going at full throttle here. Again, clearly Beasley just falling over. Easton. Lyle. Gibson. Good recovery by Whittaker, did really well to stand on his feet and deny MacArthur. Now Rangers are going to make their second change, and Chris Boyd will have to make do with just the 3. Second hat-trick of the season. He leaves the field to be replaced by Kyle Lafferty. Boyd taking his tally up to 16 goals in 16 starts this season. More importantly, getting Rangers back temporarily within 4 points of Celtic at the top of the table. Callum Murray here has given Hamilton a free kick. Gibson's free kick straight into a one-man wall of Nacho Novo that looked a very conservative 10 yards away from the Free kick, here's Kyle Lafferty. Beasley's made his way forward here. Lafferty will stride towards the edge of the penalty area, and again, Marcus Beasley goes to ground. There's David Graham with a challenge. Have been times when Beasley's looked like a 4-year-old on an ice rink for the first time. Here's Whittaker. Now Beasley. He's got a corner. Kyle Lafferty on a central striking role. I think just about the first time that he's played in that position since coming on. I'm sure he will have learnt much about it from Ali McCoist after his move from Burnley north of the border. And Rangers are going to make their final change in a moment. It's going to be a debut for Aaron, the captain of the Spanish under-20 team, who's arrived on a 2-year loan deal from Valencia. And Aaron will be on in a moment. Mendes. Lafferty just ran out of room, and that will give the opportunity for Aaron to come on. He will replace DeMarcus Beasley.
Substitution for Rangers, replacing number 20.
As the American comes off, he'll be replaced by the Spaniard for his debut. He's been on the bench a number of times without seeing any first team action. And finally he's able to make his bow, the 4th Spaniard to play for Rangers after Arteta, Novo and Cuellar. Involved in the thick of the action straight away. Drawing the free kick from Simon Mensik. Certainly a good turn of pace that he showed. He's been waiting a few months for that first run in a Rangers shirt, and it was a good one. Novo made the run in towards the near post. Davis was the target in a central position, and it might break yet. Here's Novo, pulls it back. Surely Lafferty. It's 5-1. Kyle Lafferty. It hasn't been a 5-star showing from Rangers, but it has been a 5-goal display from them. They will be more than happy with the way that this game has gone. Novo, quick to react. As it broke for Lafferty, he had the time and he had the poise. Find the finish at the bottom right-hand corner. And Lafferty, who scored here against Hamilton in the League Cup tie earlier this season, scores in the SPL as well. The boot was raised. Davy Weir was the player that was caught. Here's Weir. Papac. Novo. Papac. Rangers hungry and looking for yet another goal. A season in which they will hope that goal difference at the end of it will be important. Certainly, this will be a message sent out to Celtic with a convincing win here today. An afternoon that started so differently. Davis, and Whittaker's made his run forward. Really good covering, and in the end, Gibson actually managed to get it off Whittaker and out of play for an Aki's throw.